Hello everyone, it's Josh again, and I'm back with another update on the current Jointbreaker system iteration utilizing Lua and the Roblox studio system. You have to pardon my voice, I'm a little ill today, but the common cold will not stop me from trying to create a wondrous system such as this. Now, changes that are made progress that have been made since previous iterations. Firstly, the script itself has been reorganized to allow for better streamlining and new implementations for um, durables and what is known as ablative armor. Now, Ablative Armor is effectively, in robot combat, a armor that is intended to break off. Um, I suppose like a crumple zone for a car that's intended to crash, to break and impact and be crumpled to absorb force. The ablative armor is there to take away the initial impact or force of of a robot's blows. So that way, there's less damage being inflicted on the robot, and it just acts as a nice outer layer of skin to prevent any kind of damage. It also uh, performs some sort of snagging to rotating weaponry as well. I know that's possibly a rare option, but it can always happen. I know that the BattleBot Shatter incorporates ablative armor. It doesn't. I'm not sure about its success, but it does look pretty good on the robot, and it looks quite nice when it's broken off. So I can only assume that. I mean, it is a durable machine, so I can only assume that it does kind of work. But there we are. Just making guesses, I suppose. Now, how this is effectively represented in this system is that it's much better in this system because of the way it's constructed, in that, as you know, weapons are built to either be on a set value or on a flexible value depending on the weapon's speed and such, much like the spinner system here. Essentially, if I'll just go into the new script here, because a lot of stuff has changed here. Effectively, how Ablative Armor now works is, you can see it here, is that Ablative Armor will now be 50% of the damage maximum. Or 50%, yeah, 50%, yeah, so effectively, I've set it to 30, so this will reach 15 damage, and bosh, there we are. I've also adjusted the if statements here, checking the damage values, so that it's now more mathematic, and a person who wants to change the damage maximum doesn't have to actually manually go into the script and adjust the values himself. Although, like, say if they set it to 60, they have to set it to a quarter of a 60, then half a 60, then half a 60, and 3/4 of a 60, and so on and so forth. I've just done the math here, so it makes it much easier for them. So as you can see, I've commented quarter damage, half damage, 3/4 damage, and then regular parts broken. Because I don't know if you've probably noticed by now, but there's now a durable damage max in the value here. Effectively, what this is meant to do is that, because in the previous iterations, as I've demonstrated, durables break off after 3 initial hits. Durables now have their own HP pool that they apply to. So that way, if someone wants to have their like regular damage to be 20, but they want their durable damage to be 40. That's how they can do this. So they decide how durable the durable part actually is, which I quite like doing this. But with Ablative, I want to set it to sort of a set value anyway, because um, it's just, I think, easier that way. And Ablative Armor isn't meant, it is already strong in itself because it's 50% of the robot's HP. And it already sucks up, like, so basically every Ablative Armor piece here will soak up 15 damage before breaking off. I mean, of course, it will break much faster than other bits, especially when struck with a weapon that can hit numerous times, much like the spinner itself. But yes, that is essentially what I've. But it is just strong enough to effectively negate a lot of damage. What are the neat little tricks I've done here? Sorry for that. Had a sneeze and I had to blow my nose. Silly cold. But yes, what other little neat things can I show you? Yeah, okay. Firstly, bit of a bug fix. Essentially, the damage value was not damage value. The you can notice here this section here. This used to be a bit whereas like if hit .5 first child attachment, then A equals hit of 5 first child of class attachment, and then A equals destroy end, and so forth. It used to be that. Now it's a repeat loop because effectively all that previous iteration was doing was just deleting one attachment, and if a part has more than one attachment inside of itself, it will only destroy one singular attachment. This was causing an issue when you had a part that had multiple wheels attached to it, and only one wheel was breaking off when maximum damage was reached. So all this does is that it repeats finding an attachment until it destroys it, and therefore all sorted out. What else has been added? Next up there, of course, the durable will flash up with a different texture once it reaches maximum damage, and I will demonstrate that in a second. And effectively, whenever a Jointbreaker is found, whenever a Jointbreaker is found, all it will now do is look for the JB script inside the Jointbreaker, because we've gone rid of the names of specific names for Jointbreakers, because every Jointbreaker is going to have a part within it called JB script. It's never going to have anything else that isn't named JB script, so it will just find JB script, and if it has JB script in it, it will break it, and if it has a hinge constraint in it, it will just add smoke to it. So basically, anything that's being powered by a quote-unquote motor will in fact break. Also gotten rid of safe parts in their entirety. Don't need to be we don't need to worry about safe parts anymore. Effectively, all you do now is that you click on a part. So we're going to here. You click on a part, scroll down to where it says locked, and locking it effectively, of course, makes it uninteractable by you or any other person, unless you select it manually in the Explorer. Essentially, if the part is just locked, then the Jointbreaker will ignore it in its entirety and not do any damage to it. Thumbs up. The spinner, of course, now whenever it strikes a part that it realistically should be able to strike, it will also now slow it down by half, just to ensure that there is some fairness. Now, I shall demonstrate the new changes to the spinner system here. So we'll spin up to full. Then just go and turn on Jointbreaker here. Go. Activated that. So let's strike the durable side first. Bosh. There we go. So you can already see the cracks starting to form on it. Bash it a bit more. There we go. It has now reached its damage. Yeah, essentially what this means is that maximum damage has been reached for normal parts. So this is just effectively telling you, don't go, well, telling you, the drivers and the judges and everyone else watching, that that durable part is about to sort of break off in the next few hits. So look out for that. So I'm just going to spin up once more. As you can see, it takes a lot more to break off a durable part than the older version, where it only just took 3 additional hits. There we are. Look at that, broken off. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm always chuffed whenever I see something like this. It's tremendous work on my end. Yeah, and here you go. As you can see, the ablative, it's looking a lot more damaged than it would be, because it's now reached quarter damage. Technically speaking, a quarter damage is half damage for this part already. So when we go into the next hit, there we go, immediately broken off. As you can see, by comparison, the ablative took way more hits to actually break it off than the durable, which took a bunch more to actually perform. So that's how the durables and ablatives interact. In order just to make it a part of durable or ablative, you just name it durable or ablative. Simple as. Not that hard to perform for builders. Another thing that has also been added is a wall damage system, or I suppose so you got full damage, which based upon how fast you're traveling, it will be how much damage you take and how high you've gone. You've also got the wall damage block, which now I shall demonstrate with Midnight Thoughts, a robot built by Rose, a girl I know who is quite smart at lure. I shall demonstrate the wall damage to you by just driving through. As you can see, damage has been added here. So let's see if I can pass through once again. Yep, damage added, damage dealt, damage added, so on and so forth. If I just type in damage dealt from the Explorer here, effectively what all this does is it adds damage to parts based upon how fast you're moving, and based on how fast you're moving, it's based on increments, the increments here. So in the script, it already has some set damage values. So it's just that whenever you reach a certain speed, which I have worked out based by comparing the speed of a motor to how the Roblox interprets that current velocity. I have translated it out, and I believe 100 speed is equal to 120 velocity in Roblox. So I've made my increments based on 30, 60, 90. So even so, the fastest of robots will always be able to, if they catch a robot, they will always be able to slam them into a wall at a high speed and deal a lot of damage to them. Because the wall damage segment, it gives a lot of options to those that don't really have that much weaponry to begin with, and just allows them to deal damage. It also allows them to effectively this also allows a punishment for drivers, for poor driving. If they just ram into a wall, they'll just deal damage themselves. It also encourages people to I suppose, throw their opponents into the wall to deal more damage to them, encouraging some form of realistic blunt force trauma. So yes, I also added in, of course, my new system here, which just combines the lifter system and spinner system together to create the saw system. So it's now sort of like an actuated kind of thing, where if it moves faster, so it's got it works the same way in which whenever it strikes a part in which it should realistically be able to strike, it will slow down, but it slows down much slower because it's a saw blade. Yeah, I may in the future add in a sort of system here where, much like the crushing claw, where it phases through a part once it deals over half damage, I may do that for that. But for now, leaving it as it is, and just all going to throw it out there to everyone to basically test it. And test and see how it goes. Let's see what else. For the future, what else can be added? I'm thinking of making basically sort of a tire shredder system where a hitbox sort of thing like the flamethrower here targets so that it targets only wheels and deals damage to wheels and specific named parts. So that way, people can attempt to avoid such a trip hazard. What else is being added? Let's see. I may actually also clean up a lot of these booleans here and use attributes, so that way I can have everything just working off of one singular singular section. So that way they're not overrun by a bunch of these sort of things. I have also removed root parts. I'm going to look for it. I'm going to attempt to try and look for a better option for root parts, because root parts have only been able to be applied to the projectile system and the flamethrower system. Because for the flamethrower system, the hitbox can't be destroyed because that's where the damage is being applied to, but it would be realistic if the hitbox was destroyed. So the flamethrower section where all the particles coming out, that's what needs to be destroyed. And the projectile system, of course, the spawn needs to be destroyed, not the projectile itself. So yes, that's effectively what's being planned for the future. I probably may also intend to look into actually having the full damage system move away from increments and then and do some sort of complicated math to work out to apply damage based upon how fast a robot has been traveling, and slam them down there and deal damage based upon, of course, their current velocity. So that might be pretty fun to perform. Not much, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Aside from just a few minor bug fixes to the axe system. It has become a flipper system as well, so that way flippers can now actually utilize it to build flippers and that kind of thing. I make the axe system now so that it properly tracks where the axe currently is, and when it reaches its maximum angle, it does shut off the Jointbreaker in time, which is what we like to do. And yes, that's all that's been done so far. I will keep you posted on any changes that go on. But yes, thank you for watching, and see you later.